All right, we're going to dive into a really fascinating economic puzzle today, one that affects every single person in one of America's most famous states. Let's get right into it.
You know, if you've ever been lucky enough to visit Hawaii, or maybe you know someone who lives there, you've definitely heard this complaint, right? From a carton of milk to a new car, the prices can be just shocking. So what gives? Is that just the price of paradise? Well, the real answer is a whole lot weirder and way more surprising than you might think.
Okay, so before we get to the why, let's just look at the what. This number right here, that's the estimated extra cost that Hawaiian consumers and businesses pay every single year for goods shipped to the islands. $1.2 billion. And get this, that's not the total cost of shipping. Nope, that's just the extra amount. So what on earth is behind a number that big?
So where is this billion-dollar problem coming from? To figure that out, we actually have to look way, way back, past modern supply chains, past recent history even. The answer is kind of hidden in a piece of American history.
Yeah, you heard that right. This isn't some new thing. It's not about the inflation we're all talking about or some recent snag in the supply chain. The main thing driving up these crazy high costs is a federal law that was passed a full century ago, back in the 1920s. So let's dig into this law, shall we? It's got a pretty simple name, but whoa, its impact is anything but simple, especially for a state like Hawaii that gets pretty much everything from a ship.
It's called the Jones Act. Now, the official name is the Merchant Marine Act of 1920. And look, back then, the idea made sense. It was all about protecting American jobs, making sure we had a strong shipbuilding industry here at home, and having a fleet of merchant ships ready to go in case of, a national emergency. A pretty important goal for sure, especially in 1920. But fast forward 100 years, and it's got some pretty huge consequences.
I mean, just think about that for a second. This law has been on the books since 1920. And today, it still controls every single container shipped from the US mainland to Hawaii. And it's not just Hawaii, by the way. This affects places like Alaska and Puerto Rico, too.
Okay, so what does this law actually do? What are the rules? Well, it boils down to three really specific and really strict requirements.
Let's just break this down real simple. Rule number 1, the law covers any goods shipped between two American ports. So think from a port in California to Honolulu, for example. Rule number 2, the ship carrying those goods has to, and I mean has to, be built in the United States, no exceptions. And rule number 3, that ship also has to be owned and mostly crewed by US citizens.
And this right here, this is the heart of the problem. You see, the global shipping world is this massive, super competitive market. You've got ships being built all over the place, wherever it's cheapest and most efficient. But shipping to Hawaii, it's a totally closed system. It's restricted to this tiny little fleet of expensive US-built ships. And when you kill competition like that, well, you know what happens. Prices go through the roof. All right, so let's connect the dots. How do these rules end up hitting the wallets of regular people and businesses in Hawaii? This is where it gets real.
You know, the source material for this explainer has a perfect way of describing it. The Jones Act basically works like a hidden tax on everything. It's not a tax you'll ever see on a receipt from the government, but believe me, it's baked into the price of just about every single thing you buy.
And yep, that brings us right back to our big, scary number. That hidden tax, that extra cost, that's what adds up to that mind-boggling $1.2 billion every single year.
So what does this all mean on the ground? Well, it has two massive effects. First, and most obviously, it just makes the cost of living sky high for everybody. But second, it puts local businesses in a really tough spot. I mean, just imagine you're a farmer in Hawaii. How can you possibly compete with farms on the mainland when the cost for your equipment, your fertilizer, and even shipping your own products out is artificially jacked up? So at the end of the day, what we're looking at is a major conflict, right? We've got a law that was designed for the world of the 1920s, clashing with the economic reality of today. So let's just sum it all up. The main takeaway here is that a 100-year-old shipping law, the Jones Act, basically puts a chokehold on commerce to Hawaii, and that creates what's pretty much a $1.2 billion annual tax on the state's entire economy. And that really leaves us with one big final question to think about. In our super-connected global world, does a law that was created to protect an industry right after World War I still make sense for a place like Hawaii? It's a debate that has a billion-dollar price tag, and it's a question that folks in Hawaii have to deal with every single day when they go to the store. Thanks for joining me.